not that fancy, but I think it's mostly just for like vegetables. But it
Okay,
works on kind of the same principle.
gotcha. That makes sense. Well, here we are for round 2 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log, episode 39. Melissa just got smaller again. I have no idea what's happening. We tried to start this just a second ago, and something screwed up, and yeah, here we are again, round 2. We're just gonna go with it. I'm not gonna mess with anything else. Episode 39, here we go. My name's Kyle. That's Melissa.
Mm-hmm.
She just had fajitas for dinner.
Thrilling news.
Thrilling news. This just in. Fajitas for dinner. So I was hoping to have good news and be like, Melissa, I fixed the problem of you getting bigger and smaller sometimes in the stream, but it didn't work. I finally found a YouTube video to like, here's the solution, or at least here's something that works right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried it, and it confused me even more, and it didn't work. So here we are.
Mm.
Here we are. I have no more good news. Yeah, it stinks when like you have when like plans change and you're like, oh, okay, well, can't do that anymore. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of plans changing, you actually weren't even supposed to be here tonight. You were supposed to hang out with a friend of yours, but I guess he's sick.
Yeah, he's sick. Also, it's snowing outside again. It's like, well, I'll just stay home and talk to Kyle.
It was 60 degrees today. Here, no snow. Yeah, it was fantastic. I think you smacking your desk just made your camera go smaller again. I
made it mad.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we had really nice weather today, though it's supposed to snow tomorrow. I don't like it was like, yeah, it's gonna be like 65 today, and then tomorrow it's gonna snow.
We have days like that too.
Weird. I can't handle it. It's that back and forth that makes people sick.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's when they get because they like their body will start to adjust, and then they'll go back, and then back and forth, and it's just like, make up your fucking mind. God damn it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then your body's just like, well, you know what? Fuck it. I give up. You're sick.
I'm throwing in the towel.
Yeah.
You have a sore throat forever.
Yeah. So I last episode ended the stream by kicking the power outlet.
That's right.
And everything shut down. My computer, my lights, everything just went black. Because we were recording Saturday night. I mean, it's nighttime here. So if I turn off all the lights, like the room goes pitch black. And so most of our house, oddly enough, only has those 2-pronged outlets.
Weird.
They just never updated them. In fact, I think we even have a European outlet. Like, I have no idea why, but it is not a normal outlet. I have no idea what kind of outlet that thing is. It's a fairly old house, but it's at the same time like some of the things are updated, but some of them aren't. Like, our kitchen is fucking tiny. And we have a fan in the kitchen that is straight from the 1950s, and it's like a pneumatic, it's like the brand name is like Newtone or something, you know, and it's literally a fan in the wall with a vent for outside. So if it's like steaming, like if we're making something on the stove and it's, all the smoke and stuff like that, like it can go out that way. But it's an actual fan built into the house, which is just a giant hole in the wall.
Yeah, one of my friends, they have a house like that, but theirs is in the ceiling, and they call it the swamp fan because that's what they use to banish like steam and things like that when they've been cooking too much.
Yeah. Speaking of that stuff, did you ever have teachers like in high school or college that like loved their jobs so much and I guess it's not even like a matter of loving your job, but they had a really great sense of humor and just way of teaching and incorporating the two. So I had a chemistry teacher in high school because I only took that 1 year of chemistry, and he was fucking hilarious. And he had one of those things where it's like, hey, this is the spot where we do all the dangerous chemicals and like smoke and all of that stuff. Here's the vent to go outside. I almost got fired once because whenever we had fire drills, I used to put smoke bombs in the vent, and so this like really dark smoke would be coming up, and he thought it was all hilarious. And I was like, yes, I like the way you think.
Nice. Feisty teachers.
Where it's like, here's red smoke. He's just mixing chemicals and like
high school.
Yeah. So he did that, and then he had his mortar and pestle, and he's like, this is what you do with a mortar and pestle. You grind things up. You know, like the song, Grind With Me. It's pretty Ricky, and he's just he does the whole thing, like he sings the song, he's moving his hips, all that stuff. Just like, oh my god, what are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do this. These are high school kids.
My favorite high school teacher was my journalism teacher.
Okay.
I took a year of journalism, and I did work on the school paper for like my final semester. And I had a TV column called What Would Wilkinson Watch? So I wrote like 3 articles ever that I don't think anybody was interested in, but they needed to fill space, so they let me write them. But my teacher, Mr. Holmes, like the detective, he told us once that his wife's maiden name was Watson, but he didn't like prove it, so who knows if that was true.
Picture it didn't happen.
He was really fun. He had just a really neat office classroom, because like that's where the yearbook staff was. It's where the newspaper staff was. So this was always full of kids, like after hours. And so the kids would like put stuff up. Like the walls were covered with all of these collages of photographs.
Mm-hmm.
And like they'd write things in like chalk paint on the windows, and you could see them from outside. Like inspirational things like live life passionately.
Live, laugh, love.
Like real cornball stuff that like speaks to you as an emotional high school senior.
It's those inspirational posters with like the sports runner, and it says like endurance, blah, 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 you know.
He was my favorite because he would always tell us these stories from his own personal life, and all of them were bonkers.
That's fantastic. People who have great stories is like that's the best
gold.
Yeah. I was listening to, it was the Kind of Funny podcast, and they were telling stories about I think beta blockers in San Francisco and just the shit that they did back then and all of the stupid shit, and it's just like these stories are so much fun to just listen to, and they're laughing the whole time, and it's just like, this is great. I like this. I like this. That same chemistry teacher was married to my AP history teacher, and he was this like, or the chemistry teacher, he was this like 6'3", really tall white guy, really lanky, always fidgeting with something, just can't sit still. And she was this very small, petite, Middle Eastern woman, but very business-like, just get shit done. Like you don't want to mess with her. And at the end of the year, she gave out extra credit to any students that did like some sort of creative project.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess her assignment that year was like use the cover of our textbook and somehow like insert it into historical scenes.
Okay.
So there's the kid who has like Gandhi holding the book, or like
Mm-hmm.
Rosa Parks, sitting with the book and stuff like that. And of course, me and this other kid both hated the class, and she knew it, and we were on good terms. We would joke around and stuff, but she knew. She was like, you guys are gonna do something I don't like, aren't you? Really? We're like, yep, we're gonna put the book with Hitler.
No.
And so there's Hitler with the book at some rally, and we're just like, this is what we think of your book. This was a terrible class. We hated it.
Oh, hey, buddy. I used to work on textbooks.
How does that work nowadays with the internet and stuff? Because I got to a point in college where I was just like, I'm not gonna buy the book. Like, I'm just gonna borrow it off someone or download it online for free.
I think we worked on a lot of collegiate level textbooks and, the sort of things that, like, at least the professors have copies of, and at least there's, like, course reserve copies in the library. I don't know. That didn't get down to us. I was just the person checking the PDFs to make sure they were all composited right. I didn't hear about, like, well, downloading is really cutting in on our business. And we work on a lot of like medical textbooks where it's like, okay, every year the new like pharmacy codes books come out. And you have to have the pharmacy code books to like
version 5.2.
Yeah, like stuff that was like legitimately seriously required and like would have people work on it for like the entire year. And I'm like, that must be why textbooks are so expensive, because like, oh, you're paying for 3 people's entire year-long salary just to make this pharmacology code book.
Yeah. Yes, I mean, like, I can understand textbooks being updated, and sometimes a like a newer version isn't actually like a full new version. They've just added one section, or they've clarified something, but I hated that they tried to get you to buy that every single year. Like, you couldn't just find a student who has the class the next year and give them that book, because that book was now obsolete somehow, and they had to spend $120 just to get a book that they're not gonna use, and so I never understood why they don't just give out like the teacher just buys one book and just gets a PDF copy and hands it, like emails it to all the students. Like, I don't understand that. They have their laptops there anyways. They'd save paper, they'd save money, they'd save that, all of that stuff.
When I took this job from my older brother, and while he was still working there, he was thinking about a career change, and so he went back and started taking a few community college classes. And one of the textbooks he needed was a textbook that our company worked on. So he's like, I've got them. I have access to the PDFs already. I can print them at work.
Yeah, or what he could have done, which is what I would have done, is emailed all of the kids in my class and been like, hey, I have a PDF version of this. Before you guys buy it, I'll sell it for $1 for each of you guys, and then
he needs people to buy textbooks. That keeps his job. That kept my job.
Just a side hustle. Be like, hey, you want like life sciences 3.2? I got AP history over here. I got
So back when I used to work in textbooks, this is where I started at with the company I'm in now, and now I do those academic journals. I was the youngest person in that department by like 20 plus years. Like, it was a lot of older people that had gotten jobs there in like the 80s or something like that, back when you're doing it on like
you used to work at Hoofton Mifflin or whatever the fuck they were called.
Maybe we contracted with them. Who knows? I don't. Before my time, but yeah, they used to work here back in the old days where it's like, well, we worked on like carbon papers and like ancient weird technologies, and everything was glossy and new by the time I got there.
Yeah.
But it came to my benefit once being the weird baby in this department because we were working on a film studies textbook.
Hey.
And oh wait, no, these were two of them. Okay, we're working on a film studies textbook, and there is a section on like pre-production and like that pre-visualization stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it includes this illustration of like a weird creepy mask, and it says this is previs concept art for Twilight. Like, excuse
Okay.
me, I haven't read this since I was in high school. I haven't seen the movie since I was in high school. That's not a concept remotely anywhere in either the book or the movie. Like, are you sure you put the caption with the right picture? Because I really think these got flip-flopped around. I think this belongs somewhere else. I can't tell you what movie this is, but I know that's not Twilight. And then we were working on a genetics textbook. And there's a section on like sibling familiarity, and it's a picture of the Hemsworth brothers, and the caption is flipped. Like
I think you've mentioned that
this is
before.
why you have the young 20 something here, because they don't know. All these like 55-year-olds don't know.
All of these dang kids and their hippity hopping.
So that's what I was there
Did
for.
you ever figure out if the Twilight one was
I
wrong or
know they
not, or
said
if it
it
was just
was
something that they like,
no,
what if we added masks?
it was wrong, but I never found out what that movie, what it was actually from. I don't
Okay,
think we got that info down to us.
interesting. Weird. Weird. I have no idea how. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess that stuff happens, but who knows? Um, let's move on to some movie stuff. You mentioned what would Wilkinson watch? What's on your list of things to dive into next? You have any TV shows you're wanting to watch, stuff like
um,
that? I know
I'm
the
still.
Dragon Prince season 2 just came out.
Oh, nice. I we were only supposed to watch season one of Pushing Daisies for the review show a couple weeks ago. I'm going through season two because it's all so good, and then I'm gonna watch The Tenth Kingdom, which I pitched to you, and
Yes.
you did pick Pushing Daisies instead, which is a valid choice. But I still need to watch this bonkers fairy tale romantic comedy miniseries from when I was 10 years old. Like I need that in my life just personally.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so weird. It was odd. Like it caught me off guard. I walked downstairs and my roommate was like, "Hey, what have you been watching on Netflix recently?" I was just like, "Nothing."
Yeah.
Like I've not been watching anything because I've been filling up my time with everything else.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, like I've been thinking back. Like I don't think I've watched any of the new shows that have come out since like November. I'm still
Hmm.
behind on all of that stuff. Like I'm trying to catch up on like the latest season of Legend, or the previous season of Legends of Tomorrow, not the one that's
Oh.
on right now. Uh, I still have yet to see Runaways season 2. I still have yet to see Punisher season 2. Um, yeah, I feel so behind.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of free time to watch things outside of the review show. So I watched those things and sometimes the things I pitched to you and you didn't pick. And I'm like, well, I want to watch it anyway. I
Yeah,
do not have a lot of exploratory time. My roommate had a friend over last weekend and they were watching Russian Doll. So I
I've
watched a
heard
little bit
that
of
was
that with them.
good. Sounds like the
Yes.
same premise as Happy Death Day.
Yeah, it is a woman like repeating her birthday over and over again.
Yeah.
I could tell it was very well done, but it's also like a little bleak feeling. It might improve like as the show goes on, but I watched like the first couple episodes and it was like I just feel kind of bummed out watching her die over and over again. So I'm gonna go back to my room. You guys have fun. I think it's a fine show, but it's not a show for me.
There you go.
I'm like, nothing cute has happened yet.
Were you expecting something?
No, but that's just what I need.
Okay.
If I watch non-cute things for too long, like I start to wilt like a daisy.
Gotcha. You need your daily dose of kawaii. Daily dose of cuteness. Speaking of not kawaii, Will Smith as Genie. Did you see these pictures?
I did.
And stuff like that. What do you think? Let me back up. Are you into these live action remakes of the Disney movies?
I think I've actually just seen the Beauty and the Beast one, which I liked fine. It seems like a movie everybody hates, and I'm like, it was okay. I liked parts of it. Like, I don't think it was great, but I'm not furious at it like a lot of other people are. I think it's an all right concept. Like, they're not trying to replace anything. They're just like, why don't we try this now that we can? We just technically can. Why not? So I take it as just like bonus content, basically, to the Disney canon, not like, well, this is it. This is the new version everybody has to watch.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. I don't think I've seen any of the live action ones. It's not of interest to me, but it's also one of the things, like, I've seen the animated ones, most of them, they're classics, and it's always an iffy thing when they remake something. And I think that's, like, I think especially on this Aladdin one, there's, like, people don't know what to think. Because when they first were like, oh, Will Smith is going to be the Genie, they're like, okay, weird, but sure.
Well, it's gotta be
we'll see
someone.
What he looks like.
Like,
yeah, I mean,
who else
yeah.
could do it better? Like, it's going to be weird no matter who's doing it.
Well,
at least Will
sure,
Smith,
but
we know, is, like, capable, charismatic, can sing. Like, yeah, that seems as good as you could do.
Sure. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I guess we kind of have to see what he looks like. And then they started to release pictures. Excuse me. They started to release pictures, and the first ones they did, it was Will Smith, but he wasn't blue yet, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? Why is he not blue? He's supposed to be blue.
Yes.
Come on!"
Yes.
And they show him blue this week, and everyone's like, "What the fuck? This looks terrible. Why is he blue?" It's like, he's supposed to be blue. You guys, you idiots wanted him blue. They made him a fucking Smurf because he has to be a Smurf.
I do listen to a really good Disney podcast called the Tomorrowland Transit Authority, and they were having that exact conversation on today's new episode. Like, look, you can't, it has to be one or the other. You can't be mad at both. And it seems like maybe he won't be entirely one or the other throughout the entire film, because Genie is a character with,
I'm sure that's not an actual still. Like, I'm sure that's a promo image or something. So it's not the, like, this is what he's gonna look like on screen in the actual movie. It's like the whole thing with, like, Superman's outfit in the DC Universe movies. In the actual movies, they look terrible. But when you see, like, the, like, cell phone shots or just the promo things, it looks amazing. It's the right colors, it's blue. So they always change things up once it gets to the actual, like, actually on screen, for better or for worse, you know. So who knows? But I think it's really funny that like every 2 or 3 days there has to be some new, like, outrage thing. Oh my god, Will Smith is blue. What the fuck? Why is he blue?
Yeah,
like,
I do not.
2 days ago, you guys wanted him to be blue. What the hell? Come on.
Yeah, I do not have the energy in me to be, like, upset about a movie. Like, I can't handle it. It sounds exhausting to me. So I am concerned whenever anybody asks me, what do you think? My answer is just, Oh, it's probably fine. I'll let it happen. You know, do as you will. I'll survive.
there's there's certain cases, yeah, where like sure, like an all female reboot of the Ghostbusters. If you don't like that, fine, it's not for
Hmm.
you then, you know. But there's certain things it's like even the whole what was that one, Death Note, the Netflix
Oh.
live action movie of Death Note, uh was terrible. And not only because of the acting and stuff like that, but just the entire concept, like moving it to America kind of
Hmm.
changes up the whole, like the idea and the weight behind the concept. And it's like this doesn't work, you know.
Hmm.
Same thing for like Ghost in the Shell, when you try to change certain things up, it's like, well, it doesn't. That's not. It kind of defeats the purpose now, you know. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. There was also a new trailer for Detective Pikachu
Oh.
today. I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen
Yeah.
images because everyone is like, look, I spotted this Pokemon. There's
Oh.
Growlithe. There's Bulbasaur.
Oh.
And Bulbasaur looks amazing. Um,
Yes.
but then there's also fucking Lickitung, and that looks ungodly. That should not exist.
To begin with, like, you know, they're just sticking it on there exactly the way
I,
Miyamoto designed it.
I mean, I actually don't know
Wait a
if
minute,
I
is
don't think
Miyamoto the Mario man? Did I
it's
say the right guy?
no. Miyamoto is for Mario, yes, but um, I don't think he has anything to do with designing Pokemon and stuff like
Who's
that.
Pokemon guy?
The Pokemon Company, Game Freak.
But there's a guy.
Well, if there is, I don't know the specific name. I don't think there is one guy.
Oh,
Uh,
there was a guy. I swear I
yes,
knew this. Why did my brain just completely blank out?
Sam,
And it's like,
stop. Do not go to Google. Whatever you do,
no,
it is
help me.
terrifying.
You're my best friend. I call on you in my time of need.
um, yeah, it's just like there's certain Pokemon that they've invented that only work in that art style. That
Uh-huh.
like the original drawing and stuff like that. And it's just like this should not exist in real life. Weird stuff.
I found a Pokemon card in my desk, but it didn't help me.
What Pokemon?
It's
Name
Meowth.
that Pokemon.
It's Meowth. Meowth is my favorite. I got here.
Meowth.
I went to Build-A-Bear. I built me this guy for my birthday a year or two
Built you a
ago.
Meowth.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Um, Oddly enough, so part of the reason that I haven't really been watching much is because I've been playing a lot of video games
Yeah, you
lately.
got your Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I've hearted all of those kingdoms. That's for sure.
Way
Um,
to go.
yeah, no, I beat Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was fantastic. And then last night I beat Hitman Season 1.
Those are
Um,
very different.
oh yeah,
Hitman doesn't,
from
he
the
can't call
power
upon
of
Donald Duck.
friendship to let's see how many ways we can murder people. um, but so yeah, I've been doing a lot of that, but I mentioned to you off screen last Sunday the big Hero
Yeah,
6
I
stuff.
like what they
One
did
of the
with that
things
movie.
one of the things that I didn't mention was the Pirates of the Caribbean level. They
Mm.
so whenever Sora, Donald, and Goofy go to a different kingdom or a different world, um, Donald's magic makes them like fit in with the world or makes them look like
Mhm.
they belong there.
Mhm.
So in Monsters Inc., they look like monsters. In
Yeah.
Halloween Town, they look like ghosts and zombies and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
In the Toy Story world, they look like toys, like action figures, you know.
You got the little plastic joints.
Yeah, and stuff like
Nice.
that. And for the Pirates of the Caribbean one, Sora looks a little. He basically looks like himself. He's just in a pirate outfit. But
Uh-huh.
Donald and Goofy,
Well, Donald is
I
already dressed like a sailor.
well, yeah, but not a pirate. So they do
Mm.
have like more piratey outfits. I guess they look more like crew members of the ship. They're
Mm-hmm.
not full on like pirates, but they're rendered so much better. Like it, like
Huh.
oddly enough, they look more realistic.
Hmm. Okay, because
Which
that's a
is
live action
really
franchise as opposed to
yeah,
including animated franchises. Wow.
which is really strange because you have like there's a lifelike Orlando Bloom and Johnny
Oh,
Depp and
nice.
right there, and then there's
Hmm.
anime looking Sora, and then there's this like oddly realistic render of Donald and Goofy that I think in that game looked the best. Like it
Ooh.
was so, and I don't know if it was actually like a better render or if it was just like they're pirates. They don't really shower, and so there's just this layer of dirt and texture
Oh.
on them that made it different. But I
Hmm.
was like, that looks really good. Like
Wow.
I don't know why they would do it that way, but sure, it it worked, you know. So who knows?
Neat.
Um, but I beat it. I beat Kingdom Hearts 3 and it was fantastic. I loved it. I cried at
Good.
the
I'm
end.
glad. Of
It
course
was
you
great.
did. That's what
Yeah.
it's there
I
for.
I no, I so I was keeping it together. Like it was all like, "Oh, this is nice. I like this. They're actually wrapping things up." Um and there was one thing that happened and that was it. I was like, "Oh god. Oh god. Oh, this is so good. I love this." um Sam, are you asking if the Pirates of the Caribbean is the end of Kingdom Hearts? Is that what you're asking? Because that's not the final world. It's one of the. It is one of the ones at the end of the game, but it is not the last one. No, there's going to be more Kingdom Hearts games. If that's what you're asking. I don't know if the next one is going to be a numbered one, but yes, there will be more. There will be
Another
more
one of
Kingdom Hearts.
those bananas poetic fractional
Yeah,
names.
so I mean, so I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. I don't have
Mhm.
everything like committed to memory or there's
You
certain
don't got
details.
it memorized
Yeah,
then.
no, I don't have it memorized. But um, so I beat the game, and you can get a secret ending if you find enough of these hidden like Mickey symbols and take
Yes.
pictures of them. And apparently I got enough just in my normal playthrough to get the secret ending. And I had no idea what the fuck was going on in that secret ending. um like I had to look up an article to like what is going on here, like who are these characters, what are they referring to, like is this supposed to be a thing that I can look forward to and I'm on the
Yeah.
same level as everyone else, like ooh, new characters, new bad guys, what's happening here, you know? And then I read this thing and they're explaining, I was like, these guys know this stuff. What, how did they know that these guys used to be this and that and this? And I was like, there's no way they understood that from that video. And then down buried further in the article, it was like yeah, so all of these characters are from like a mobile game that almost
Oh,
no one
yes.
played.
Yes.
So that's why like no one knows what the fuck is happening. And so it's just like, God damn it! Like the one of like 2 or 3 games that I have not played from Kingdom Hearts is like we're gonna use that as a jumping off point for the. I was like, oh my god, so stupid.
Isn't it like, I think I've heard about this. It was rendered like almost impossible to play because it was on like some like Verizon Mobile Center in like the mid 2000s, and then that thing just like got outclassed and outclassed, and when it was eventually like taken down, it went the way of like AIM or something like that, and it's like, well, there aren't backups of the game. Goodbye to the game, but I guess somebody found it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is it that thing? I swear
Uh,
there was like Kingdom Hearts content that was lost because it was just on some obscure platform that died really quickly.
well, so the game that I'm talking about that has to do with the secret ending was originally a browser game. It was only one you
Okay.
could play
Okay.
online. Um, Eventually, it was ported to mobile, so you can play it on your mobile phone now, or I think you can just watch it on YouTube. I'm sure, but that browser version of the game was taken down. If that makes sense.
Okay.
It
Okay.
might be that, but that kind of happens to games all the time nowadays because a lot of these games are online, so they need servers to run
Mm-hmm.
them. And if after a while not enough people are playing, the companies are just like, well, it's costing us monies to keep these servers up, and no one is playing, so shut down.
Have we
Um,
talked about what a nerd I am for lost media? That's one of my
Not really.
that's one of my favorite YouTube rabbit holes to go down is lost media. Stuff like
Lost.
that just
Yeah.
like everybody knows is real, but there is just not a copy of it anymore.
Yeah. So even recently, well, first of all, Sam, you were talking about a Kingdom Hearts collection on Twitch. I mean, on not on Twitch, on Switch. God damn it. And there's no alcohol this time. Um, but yeah, I don't think that's gonna be happening. I think they and I don't even know why they didn't put the most recent one on Xbox. But I heard that it's not happening on Switch. But going forward, there might be some Kingdom Hearts Switch games. Who knows? I don't know. But Lost Media. I was just about to say something. Fuck. Now I forget what it was. It was about a video
Also
game.
lost.
It's about a video game that, god damn it, I don't remember, but that happens from time to time too. Oh,
Yeah.
now I remember. It was video games to Switch. Final Fantasy. A
Uh-huh.
bunch of the Final Fantasy games recently got announced for the Switch. I think Final Fantasy 9 already came out yesterday or
Mm-hmm.
the day before. And Final Fantasy 7 is coming,
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, I think 12 as well. It basically went 7, 9, 10, 10-2, 12. 11 was an online only game, so that one's out of the picture. But basically, all the previous generation ones except for 8.
Huh.
And everyone's just like, what the fuck?
Huh.
Why no 8? And people are kind of wondering if they lost the source code, if they
Oh.
lost the original, and they're just like, we're stuck with the ones we have of
Hmm.
that one. Who knows? I don't know if that's true or not, but that was someone was speculating that. So who
There
knows?
was in the late 90s, I think, in Japan, something called the Satellaview,
The
which
television.
was this device you could buy that would use satellite to basically stream live things to this device that you could watch on your TV. This was like very early streaming, and it was not really like streaming,
Was it
almost more
was it
like
like
a
satellite streaming?
yeah, yeah, or almost more like a radio. Like, okay, I can tune in at like 6 p.m. today if I have my Satellaview and if I turn my TV to the Satellaview input, and they are going to beam to me the special concert or something like that. And if I tune in at 6 o'clock tomorrow, it'll be a special cooking show, all kinds of things. And they experimented with doing this with video games too. And if you hooked it up to like your Nintendo of some kind, like once, okay, kids, people of any age, really, join us from noon to 4 on this one Saturday, and we will beam you a Zelda mini game.
Interesting.
Yeah. And because that stuff is just so weird and ephemeral and in like old, outdated technology, like nobody has a Satellaview anymore. It's like that level, that like extra Zelda content was lost forever until like somebody found like a home video. Like somebody had set up like the VCR to record what was on the TV as they were playing.
Yeah.
So they found what the footage was, and then they just had to like figure out what the sound was that would go with it. So like it's half found now.
Interesting.
I don't remember all these details, but that's a neat one to look up. The Satellaview.
Did you ever used to record TV shows on a VCR and stuff?
Yeah, I still have a ton of them.
I used to have a bunch of the like early Dragon Ball Z movies. Ooh. on there. I think I had like the Tree of Life. I had like the Garlic Junior Saga stuff like that. But I had a bunch of those, and then I had one tape that I think I just reused constantly for when I like wasn't gonna be like at home while something was on. I'm like, oh, I'll tape this and then I'll watch it tomorrow. And then when something like that happens again, I'll just retape over that. You know, so I had like old like Toonami broadcasts and stuff like that. What else happened? There was one time, so I grew up a Lakers fan, Los Angeles Lakers fan, the basketball team, and I guess I didn't really grow up one. I grew up a Shaquille O'Neal fan. I liked the Orlando Magic when he
the 90s.
when Shaquille O'Neal was there, but then he went to the Lakers, which my dad liked. And so
you also like Kazam?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know sports, but I know Kazam.
But I may have taped Kazam too. Who knows? But I remember there was one time we were out and about doing something, and we taped the Lakers game, and we got home, and I guess the game had gone to overtime, and I turned the TV on at the winning shot, like right as the game was actually ending, and it was like final like shot buzzer beater, Lakers win. And I just happened to see that one thing, and it was like, oh, perfect timing, like the game is done now, I can hit stop recording, all of that stuff. Or I was like, Dad, when do you want to watch? In like 20 or 30 minutes? He's like, yeah, it's good. So I let it go so he could get all the after stuff. But I then like rewatched that entire game with my dad, and it was a fantastic game. It's not like the fucking Super Bowl where no one is scoring. This is like everyone is scoring, or they start to go on a run, and then the other team catches up, and it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? Oh, this is so good. And like my dad was just on the edge of his seat the entire time, super tense, and I'm just sitting there like head like feet up and arms back behind my head. He's like, how are you so calm? And I'm just like smirking. I know the end of the game and you don't, except I didn't tell him that. That's what we used to do with those old CR stuff. And then DVR came along. guess now you don't even everything is on demand, or you just watch it on
Yeah,
YouTube or
I
Netflix or
have heard
something.
legends from my parents and my older brother, because I have a brother that was born in 1977.
There you go.
And before the rise of the VCR and like home video, it's like, well, once a year on like the day before Thanksgiving, one local channel will show Wizard of Oz. And that's your only chance all year to watch Wizard of Oz if you want to. So you have to rush home. Like the streets will be empty because people are like, oh, I want to watch Wizard of Oz again. And like
Yeah.
you just have to be home to see it. And if you're not there, like, well, maybe next year, Scarecrow.
Yeah.
It's bananas to even conceive of.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, this past week was Valentine's Day.
It was.
Did you happen to do anything for Valentine's Day? Did you buy any good candy?
I had a date on Wednesday.
Nice.
I bought him some candy. He didn't buy me anything in return, but we're in a weird area. I didn't expect him to. And then he's like, oh, okay, all right. I feel bad. I should have done that. And I'm like, no, it's cool. Flowers grow the whole year round. You'll have your chance. I bought new Valentines this year. I do most years, and I did it every year when I was like in school, like up through college.
So you still actually buy like the Valentine's card things? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I know anyone that does that except for you.
I did. I gave them out at my office, and I have kept the leftover Valentines from like every year since I was in like 6th grade or something in this big Ziploc bag, and I was going through all of them, and it's so many like old franchises. Like here's Peanuts Valentines. Here's I had Yo Gabba Gabba Valentines. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Pirates of the Caribbean. I had a Cartoon Network multi-pack that was a variety of Cartoon Network shows. So it's like, oh, Powerpuff Girls and Ben 10 and My Gym Partner's a Monkey, and ones people don't remember.
My Gym Partner's I don't remember that one.
It was a show. I never got into that one.
The one that I always forget that people I know don't remember is Sheep in the Big City.
Sheep in the Big City is so good.
I don't remember anything about it except it's just like a sheep walking around downtown.
I have to find where we can watch this, and we have to do a review show on it because I remember being so funny.
Speaking of doing stuff for the review show, I've been letting you down, and I still haven't watched the X-Files stuff that we're gonna do for a patron-only exclusive.
We were supposed to do that
episode.
last month.
It was supposed to be for January, but I moved, and then it was like, well, I guess I can like settle into my new house, and but. Yeah, I need to get on that. I promise you I have not forgotten, and I will not let the ball drop on that. But who knows? Maybe we'll do a Patreon exclusive episode of old like Cartoon Network. Like, let's just watch an episode of like Sheep in the Big City, Billy and Mandy. Let's do this and that and stuff like that. Who knows? Old cartoon. Stuff.
Get some courage in there. Another cartoon that I had Valentine's saved for that I could not give to another human being because who remembers this thing anymore? Do you remember Metabots?
Yes, I remember Metabots. Okay.
So
do you remember Beetleborgs?
I remember Beetleborgs. I remember Cubics,
bad Beetleborgs. I used to have Beetleborg action figures. What was the other one? It was more of a Power Rangers knockoff than Beetleborgs was. Yes, that's the one. VR Troopers. I had some action figures of those when I was a kid.
Galador. I think I remember us having a Galador action figure.
I still have all my Street Shark action figures.
You told me this. It's a great feat.
Yeah, it's amazing. I I actually have all of the Street Sharks episodes on DVD as well. It was one of those things where I was on Amazon and I was like, I wonder if they have that on DVD, and they did, and it was like $6, and so I put it on my wish list, and then my parents saw it for like my birthday or something, and they bought me that because like it's only $6, you know. So, but yeah. So Sam, you had Pokemon toys. What ones did you? I still have my like Burger King.
Yeah.
Giant Pokeball thing that used to have the like gold cards. And that I don't think I have the gold card, but I have the Pokeball, and right now I have a Jesus action figure in the Pokeball.
He doesn't evolve, does he? Does he come? Is he like a single evolutionary
he has multiple
chain,
forms.
Like
if you there's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So you know. No, I was out in. This was when I was like 13, 14. We were out in Wyoming visiting some relatives, and there was some little market out in the middle of nowhere, and it was a shop that you could just buy weird toys and food and jerky, and there's a little restaurant and gas station, you know, and they had Jesus action figures, and I was like, yes, I'm buying one because this is ridiculous. This is so stupid. It has real gliding action. It has wheels, and so he has his little thing. He's like,
There's little like foam rubber dinosaurs, and you'd put them in the water, and they'd grow real big.
Yeah.
There needs to be a Jesus like that, but you put it into water, and it turns it's the same size, but it turns the water into wine by the time he's done floating in there.
There you go. So
you put him in there, and he just rises to the top, like still perfectly perched on his feet, like it's real.
So Sam had a bunch of the little figurines, some of the Burger King stuff, and all of the KFC plushies. I remember those as well. But yeah, man. Everything nowadays is Funko Pops. And I don't own a single Funko Pop.
Yeah, I'm not super into them. I'm not super into tchotchkes to begin with. I wish I was more into like
Funko Popped.
I wish I was more into like toys and action figures and like physical collectibles. Like when I go to a con, I'm always about like wall prints. Like you need to break up your decorating. You need to have like a shelf of things. It can't just be flat surfaces. So I'm gonna make myself buy some figurines or something just to like, for decorative harmony.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm gonna do on this stuff. I don't really like those shelves that are on the wall. That was there when we moved in, but I want to do something with that.
Those
back
aren't shelves. Those are 2 boxes.
They are basically boxes that are just like nailed onto the wall. But I originally wanted my desk on that side. But this is also kind of our guest room. Like we have a little futon thing right here, right next to me. But we don't really have guests, so it's just sitting there. But yeah, like I wanted my desk back there, but the futon wouldn't really fit or it wouldn't look good anywhere else. But yeah, so those bookshelf things are there, and I don't like them at all. And I ordered a new light bulb, so you can kind of see it. There's a lamp right behind me.
Yeah, you got yourself like a Luxo.
Yeah, it's the Pixar lamp thing.
That's his name.
His name is Pixar to me.
Well, his name is Luxo Jr., the one that comes out and stomps on the ball.
Yeah, because didn't they change the design, and that's why it's Luxo? Anyways, I I got another Wi-Fi light bulb for that guy. Oh, Melissa's small again. Anyways, and
I
so
got squished by the lamp too.
yeah, eventually I'm gonna have like the wall behind me backlit, so in like blue or green or something.
Nice.
I don't know, maybe just white. Who knows? Fancy schmancy.
Well, what's your favorite lantern? Is it green?
Are you actually talking about like the Lantern cores from DC Comics?
Yes.
Sure. Green. I guess I'm not a huge like Green Lantern fan or like any of those comics.
Wow, because I thought that was your favorite DC.
Not well. I grew up reading Marvel. I think nowadays I definitely like DC more. Definitely with the current stuff they're putting out, I think DC is doing amazing, and I'm not really buying anything from Marvel right now. Their books were just like, I'm not interested in that one. That one started to suck, and I don't like that one. Okay, oh well. But I do have Marvel Unlimited, so I can just read them all. Anyways, 6 months late, which is what I do anyways. Uh, but Green Lantern is not really my favorite.
Why did I think you were a Green Lantern guy?
I've read some old Green Lantern. I maybe I mentioned that to you. My mom does stuff like that where I will mention something to her.
I've become a mom,
and she just automatically assumes that it's my favorite.
Yeah.
There was one time where I think it was a holiday or something. She walked in and she had one of those giant like milk cartons of milk duds.
You told me this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like, thanks, Mom. I know you know I like candy and I'm eating them, and it was just like, but why milk duds? Like, I've never bought myself milk duds. You've never bought me milk duds. Why would you buy me milk duds? She's just like, well, they're your favorite, right? No.
Nobody's
I don't,
favorite.
Never said that. Who knows? It was just like, come on. What are you doing?
One of my brothers is a big Lantern guy, and one of my RPG partners is also a big Lantern guy, and they're Blue Lantern guys. So I know it is possible to be super into one of the colors besides green. Like, there's plenty of content for the other colors.
Yeah, it's in there. I like the idea. I'm sure there are Green Lantern comics out there. I would like. I just haven't read much, so there you go. How Jordan is not my favorite character.
You got options though.
It was so weird when that the Green Lantern movie came out, because everyone that was like our age or just a little bit younger that that weren't big comic book fans, like, what? Why'd they make him white? Green Lantern's not white, because all they knew was the Justice League cartoon, and they have Jon Stewart. Yeah. And it's like, who the fuck is this Hal Jordan guy? What the, And it's like, well, that's like kind of not original Green Lantern, but in the comics, like, he's the one that they follow. Like, that's the original one. Mm-hmm. And so they're just like, I don't know about this. I don't know. I was just like, you guys, okay. Well, and that movie ended up being terrible, so who cares? I don't know about lanterns. I'm more partial to lions. Is that right? Yes. Lions.
Oh, yes. Yep. Sam's a big Voltron person.
Yeah. So I've only seen, I think, the first couple of seasons of Voltron. I liked it. I need to just sit down and watch it all.
Yeah, she's described it to me many times, but I've not seen a great show.
It is so good.
It's what I've heard.
She says, don't watch season 8. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess I kind of fell off of it after I watched the first 2 seasons, and for some reason I thought it was over after that. Like I didn't think they were making any more of it, and then they're like, and here's season 3, and I was like, wait, I thought they were done with the show. Mm-hmm. And I was just really misinformed. And so I was like, okay, well now I don't really remember what happened, so I needed to rewatch them all, and then it was like, I'm gonna wait for it all to be out and sit down and watch the show. So I really loved Korra, and it was the same.
Oh yeah.
Animation studio. So season 8 is the real end, but it doesn't exist. I know there was a lot of fandom stuff, a lot of shipping happening. And I'm assuming that is why Sam is like, don't watch the end.
Yeah.
But, yeah, because I think something didn't happen that everyone wanted to happen. It's like they all but mentioned it, is what I understood happened.
Yeah, she described it to me, and I'm like, that's a weird choice. Like, even having not seen the show, I'm like, I don't see how they got there.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Kyle.
Yes.
How much time do we have left before you're like, this is an appropriate time to end?
Did you have something you wanted to talk about? Just go for it.
Okay. It might be like a whole 15-minute chunk. I don't know how late we're running already. Okay.
You could have interrupted me halfway in the show and be like, here's what we're talking about next.
I want to give this thing its due time.
Okay.
Go to our Captain's Log Topics Google Doc, and I put a link to another Google Doc in there. I need you to click on that thing. Okay. So I work in academic publishing. I work for academic journals of all different topics. Authors send us the manuscripts, we process them, we get them to the editors, the reviewers, etc. We're just the admins that run the whole thing. One of my coworkers got this paper submitted to an IT journal that she works on. And it's the most insane thing that any of us have ever seen. And we don't know where it came from. I mean, it's got like an author name on it and an author bio, but
it's all light.
Okay. So the process behind this thing. So this might be a guy who is literally.
I see pictures of hell and Satan is here.
Okay. So what this could be somebody who just really went down their own deep, sincere mental path and wrote this giant, crazy paper. The title of this paper is Ruling Power Tautology, Error in Big Bang Theory, I Self-Theory, Does Man, parentheses, Super, Created Mars? And the abstract...
That's not even fucking English.
It isn't. The abstract of this paper is, if ruling power were able and willing to create Sun Mars, he would do so. If ruling power were unable to create Sun Mars, he would be incapable. If he were unwilling to create Sun Mars, he would be malevolent. Ruling power creates Sun Mars. If ruling power exists, he is neither incapable nor malevolent. Therefore, ruling power exists. It's like weird logic circles. It's really like cosmic and spiritual and otherworldly and metaphysical, and wall-to-wall it doesn't make sense, and it really doesn't make sense to be submitted to an IT journal. So this person is either potentially anything from eccentric to ill of some kind, or this might be like kind of a test, because we have been warned that sometimes authors will submit obviously terrible or inappropriate papers to us just to test that there is a real person on the other end of the system, and it's not just like a robot trying to like accept everything, just build up our journal numbers.
Type back, what the fuck, dude?
I think my coworker had to send it back like, this exceeds our word count. Please edit.
So for people who are listening to this as a podcast,
yes.
This is like a 17-page PDF document, or 16. And it's just like a 2-column format with charts and tables documenting this person's, I guess, theory of whatever the fuck this thing is. But the images just get more and more ridiculous as this goes on. Like it looks like, okay, this is gonna be some like well put together like textbook, you know, essay thing. They have an appendix and stuff like that, so you can, you know, get a glossary of terms. And then there's this like computer not computer table, but this like glossary table like thing, and there's this image in there, and I'm not even reading what's on the thing, but there's this picture of these 3 screens that say it's all light.
Yes. And like
and that is caught my eye.
That's our new office slogan. Like that's what we shout to each other. A guy in my
it's
office
all light.
A guy in my office printed that out and like stuck it to his bulletin board, and he also printed out, I don't know if you got to the end of this file, but the image that says, "Is Mars free?"
Is Mars free? So like,
hold on. Is Mars free? I want to own Mars, but humans have no license to own it. Can humans get authority from Big Bang? If not, then who? Who? Is everything free? Or humans get life free? And these are over. This text is over screenshots of like The Martian or some other sci-fi film. Like it's just over film stills of Mars.
It escalates from "it's all light" to I'm scrolling down 3 like more pages, and there's like a picture of a robot and some like here's your like brain sensors, and it lights up with all of it, so it looks more medical technology. And then there's just a random word art of Allah, and then there's like
in here I don't really know what to do with.
And then there's like this weird like cosmic like pictures of like stars and galaxies and nebulas, and like obviously a composited picture of some planet and its moon and like Earth and an explosion, and like what in the world is going on here?
It's like one of those space pictures is captioned "billions of galaxies," but scientists are still unable to solve mystery where this how much energy come from. There's the picture of, it's like a weird cloud of amorphous light, and it's like an anamorph. It's just more light particles, more light particles, more light particles, and over like 13 different steps, it becomes a picture of a horse. And the best part, the centerpiece of this for us, is figure 3.3, Hell, the levels of hell. Text nearby this image says, "A human who tried to kill himself with knife, sword, or blow up with a bomb, or anything else, he will be in hell." Hell, not what you think it is. These are the different levels of hell, and it's just it's like you did a Google image search for hell, and you are like, one of these almost looks like Mordor. These look like these could be stills from like a Doom game. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like stills from just some like really crappy like 3D animated video game, like on just like an online video game you'd get a sketchy ad for, and like Satan is the like, "I bet you'll never play this game," you know.
Exactly. And there is this cartoon devil who's leering at you, and he's got kind of that DreamWorks face, if you know what I'm talking about. So there's this DreamWorks face demon like leering at you, and we love this guy. We've cropped him out and we send him as a reaction image to each other. And later the day we got this paper, we like stopped working and didn't do anything else but dig through this for like 20 minutes. That day, another coworker got another paper submission that was much more normal, much more legitimate. But one of those co-authors was named Dr. Demongot. And it was like a French name. It was like Jacques Demongot. So we imagine it's not pronounced like that in French. But
something like that. I don't know. I don't
But
speak
so we
French.
just started calling this cartoon devil man Dr.
Demon God.
Demon God. And
Dr. Demon
I
God.
don't know, he's ours now and we love him. He's our mascot, Dr. Demon God. Like
This
this
is
thing,
ridiculous.
this is
Is this something we can link to in the description?
oh, oh, I don't know. I might
Is it, or like, because
oh
that's the thing. I don't want you to like publish something that you're
yeah,
not supposed to.
I will crop out Dr. Demon God for sure.
This is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I
I
don't.
wish we could show you guys this full thing.
Oh, there's also a copyright statement at the bottom of every page of this PDF that says copyright truth is always right.
Yeah, sure does.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
like you keep pouring through this thing. Like every time I look at it, I see like a new weird thing going on. Light has sun? No.
He
The
received his
world is a
bum.
trap, and so the Big Bang is. Oh, where's the best part? Okay. My favorite part besides the demon, besides our buddy Dr. Demon God, is the very last sentence of this manuscript is just, alas. I don't know if you got all the way down there.
Where is it?
It's on the last page. Like, it's that big red sentence that they made their last sentence after the end of
Oh,
this paper just says, alas.
alas.
And their reference list is like a Wikipedia article on the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
Like these aren't
the
references.
references is like it has like the first one seems a little bit more legitimate.
It has an ISBN number.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
has an ISBN and a number, and then it's just like reference 2, Holy Quran Islam. Reference 3, Hadith Muslim. I don't know how to say that next one. Reference 4, Islam religion.
Yes. Yeah.
Reference
Five.
7, Big Bang Theory. Is that the TV show? Is that the event?
It seems to be outside of this. Yeah, it's. I don't know what to do with any of this. I really don't know what to do with
the
all
entire
of, like,
religion is sourced, Sam.
Yeah, that I don't get, but so I don't know this author's mindset. I don't know where they're coming from writing this paper.
It's amazing.
Like, I feel kind of bad laughing at it because I'm like, are you well? Are you okay out there? But also, it's the craziest thing we've ever got. And like we just love that in the middle of our monotonous, repetitive workday, it's like, oh, that's not a normal paper. This has a clip art of a demon in it.
This is ridiculous. So speaking of work stuff and 16 pages PDFs, this story I'm about to say is not nearly as interesting. But basically, I make all the emails that the university I work for sends out to all its alumni and donors. And it baffles me how many people don't understand what a fucking email is.
I'm sorry?
Well, first of all, email is basically dead. Like, no one uses it unless it's like business related and I guess university related. But even then, there's a lot of other things you can use instead of email for a lot of businesses and stuff like that, you know. But we got the art. So the art department usually has some kind of poster or flyer that they will email out, which is fine. It's not the best practices because we have to make the images ADA compliant for someone who might be using a screen reader, you know, because they can't see. So like if it has information on the image, I have to type all of that stuff out as the alt text. If there is no like actual text on the picture, I either have to describe it or use the like headline of the email as the alt text. we kind of give them pushback of like, hey, you guys probably shouldn't. I know you're the art department and you want to make these awesome looking posters, but it's probably not the best for you guys to keep doing this. Come on, guys, you should actually send an actual email. Today, they sent us a PDF that was 14 pages long.
No!
And it was like, here's our email.
No, it isn't.
I was just like, fuck no. Not happening. I was like, they can either type all of this out themselves, in which case it still shouldn't be that long. Hell no. But there's no way. I sent it back and I was just like, no.
And a PDF is not editable text. Like, you can't typeset with a PDF. Like, it has to be like a Word file or something like that.
So it's basically like a booklet.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming what happened is they sent us the wrong file is ultimately the thing. But it's just one of the, like, I've had that happen multiple times where they said, like, they're trying to get us to email out everything that's on like a 3 or 4 page PDF, and there's no way that I'm typing all of that from scratch. Yeah, so who knows? That was a weird thing. Speaking of long PDFs, but other story. Last thing I have to say for this episode. I over the past 3 days, most of my coworkers have been out at a conference, or at least the ones that I directly work with. I'm like the odd one out of our like team. They're all very business oriented, and I'm the creative one. So like I don't have to go to these like business related things. So I didn't have much to do for the past 3 days. But during one of these, or I guess every day, basically, I watch the live stream for Kind of Funny Games Daily, which for me starts at 1 p.m. and then they do shows immediately after that. And I watch it live on Twitch. I'll be sitting there doing my work, and if I want to say something, I'll type and say hi in the chat and stuff like that, and interact with other people. But I happen to, I guess, not be watching anything at the moment, and I can hear the woman in the cubicle behind me, who I very rarely have to deal with or talk with. But she's super nice. She always lets me know when no one else invited me to something. She's like, "Oh, you didn't? Well, yeah, we had cookies. If you still want some, there's a lot of them back there." I was like, "Yes, thank you."
Cookies.
So she's super nice, but someone came up and was talking with her about something. I don't know exactly what, but apparently one of them was talking to someone. I don't know if they worked in the building or was like a third party client, but they were like, oh, he was totally the like California, like Silicon Valley / surfer dude, just not a care in the world, not really sure why he has that job and stuff. And he was just like, oh yeah, we get free food all the time, they cater this and that and blah blah blah. And it were like, oh yeah, like he's totally the like the been babied his whole life, watches Twitch streams while he's working, and I'm just sitting there like, that's what? Come on, guys! I literally sit here and do that every fucking day, and I'm just like, if it's not Twitch, I'm watching stuff on YouTube as I'm sitting there working, and it's like, oh, come on, I'm right, I can hear you. So I don't know if she actually knows that I'm watching live stuff, or if it's that I just am watching something while I work, you know. Who knows? But I was just like, oh, come on. It was funny.
FYI, I just did a reverse Google image search for that picture of Dr. Demon got, and evidently he comes from a YouTube video called What Jesus Said About Hell.
Oh, goodness. That one we can put the link to in the description.
It's like distressing watching. I'm not going to click on it, but at least I know, like, he came from somewhere.
Oh god, I don't even want to know what's in that video.
More of the same.
I'm sure. Okay, well, I think that about wraps us up for today. Dr. Demon God is too much. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this episode, thanks for joining in, watching, listening, whatever you did. These episodes come out every Monday. Yes. If you liked that, if you like any of our shows, you can support us on patreon.com/thewhatnauts. And for just $1, you can get these episodes early. Or if you wanted to get it even before that, we live stream these usually Friday night. We still haven't set an exact set time.
Yeah.
We are working on that. We will let you guys know. But yeah, if you guys like all of that stuff, we would love your support. All of it helps. You can join Sam in the chat. Yes. Sam would like someone to talk to besides us. Or I guess besides me, because Melissa doesn't really pull up chat since your laptop can barely handle having
I wish I could. It's just like a bandwidth issue, and also I try to keep my eyes like towards Kyle, you know, for video purposes.
I'm not even looking at my camera most of the time. Mine's like slightly off centered, and I have the chat on my phone and stuff like that. So there you go. We would love some more company. Like, share, subscribe, all the things on the social medias. That would be greatly appreciated. We could absolutely use your help here on Twitch and on YouTube. Even if you cannot make the live streams, just make a Twitch account and follow us. That would help us out a lot. Same thing for YouTube. If you normally listen to this as a podcast, we do put these up on YouTube, and even if you don't want to see our pretty faces, you can just subscribe to our YouTube, and that would help us out a bunch. Melissa, what's going on? Where are you at? Where can people find you? What's the happening? What's the 411?
I am on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT.
And I am Yo Kyle Springer on both Twitter and Instagram. There we go. I just had the social media things pop up. There you go. If you guys want updates for this show, at the Whatnauts on Twitter. Like, share, subscribe. I already said all that stuff. Give us all your money. That would be great. Okay, that was episode 39 of the Captain's Log.
Good night.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next week. Adios, guys. What's up, party people? Thank you for watching that episode of the Captain's Log. Don't forget to click here in the middle to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click over here for one of the videos that YouTube wants you to watch, and click over here for, I guess, our most recent upload. Do all of that stuff. Hit all of the things. All of them. Every single one. Every single one. All the 3 of them, okay? Don't leave any out. Do it. Do it!